I think a weekend warrior is someone who works incredibly hard on their job and at their career. During the week, they're crunched for time. They're type A individuals who are competitive. They want to have optimal health. They enjoy competing in numerous sports, and they may want to train their bodies not only to look the part and feel good, but maybe for a performance as well. Don't forget, because they're overachievers and they want to do the very best they can with their career and their career choice, that time is of the essence, and time efficiency is very important regarding their workouts. I'm Marc Megna. I'm a Team MUSCLETECH athlete and performance coach. I am also a strength and conditioning coach, personal trainer. I work with professional athletes as well as your everyday person. We're here today at the Dominate Your Game training facility in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm gonna show you what we put together and we like to call the Weekend Warrior workout. It's 11 exercises. This workout is designed to maximize workout time, make you efficient in the gym, and make sure that you're working all your body parts, trying to stay away from creating imbalances, strengthening the entire body as one, and making sure that you can improve your performance in your game, whatever you're playing, sports performance, or just living optimal health. Let's begin with our first activity, the close grip incline barbell press. There will be 4 total working sets, 3 warm-up sets. We're gonna start off, we're gonna do 3 sets. We're gonna do a warm-up set of 10 with the bar. Then we're gonna add a little bit of weight. We're gonna do a set of 8. It's gonna be a second warm-up set. Our third warm-up set is gonna be a set of 5. I'm gonna add a little bit more weight. After that, I'll start my actual work sets. It'll be 2 sets of 10 and 2 sets of 8. I'll give a 1:30 rest in between each set. And I like to increase weight. And don't forget, I only increase weight if the form is wonderful and I have great control of the movement. Well, the workout I put together today is along the mindset of less is more. I don't believe in doing things, reinventing the wheel or being too fancy or incredibly unique, but rather being quite simple and making sure that we hit all the body parts and we try to maximize their end result in regards to performance, making sure that we don't neglect anything and we don't create any imbalances. It's time efficient, and I think we do a good job of covering the entire body. So now we've completed our 3 warm-up sets, and then we're gonna start with our actual work sets. 2 sets of 10s, 2 sets of 8. This is my first set of 10. Don't forget, it's close grip, so my hand placement's gonna be right outside the framework of my body, inside the chest. My elbow's gonna remain close to the inside. Basically, in the past, training athletes, I've used the close grip bench press and flat bench. I just wanted to change it up. So we isolate a little bit of the triceps and work some of the upper chest as well. It's a push dominant activity, obviously, so it'll help you with anything in regards to moving another individual out of your way, or chest pass as well. Maybe it would assist a basketball player or a lineman in regards to a moving or a push. It's a great sagittal plane movement. I think it's incredibly beneficial for an upper body strength activity. If you want to, improve your physique, if you want, optimal health, performance goals, some guys want to pick up basketball, they don't play pick up football. I believe there is some transfer and carryover that's going to help you excel in those sports if you do these activities correctly. So we've completed our 2 sets of 10. Now I'm going to start my first set of 8. Don't forget, I've already taken a 1:30 rest. Still doing the same hand placement. I'm controlling my reps. For the person who's the weekend warrior, they are, so stressed with work, and they're overachievers, and they're trying to hustle and they're trying to do the very best they can for themselves and for their families. It's important that they have that therapeutic kind of getaway, and for most people, it is exercise. It creates like an environment where they can kind of release those endorphins and they can feel better about themselves. It can promote healthy blood flow, just feeling good about yourself and boosting self-confidence and your self-esteem. So now we've completed our first exercise. Now we're going to move on to our second activity. So our next exercise is dumbbell extended alternating press. I'm gonna do 2 sets of 10, 2 sets of 8. This is gonna be my first set of 10. I'm already warmed up, so I don't need to warm up. I'm gonna go right into it. At the conclusion of this set, I'm gonna rest for 1:30, okay? Dumbbell extended alternating press creates a little bit of stabilization in the shoulders because you have to maintain one arm out steady, and then a little bit of dynamic motion with the other arm flexing and extending. Also for a chest dominant pushing activity, chest pass, single arm strength, holding someone off, maybe a stiff arm in a game, or posting someone up, just creating a shoulder stabilization, or even blocking a ball, knocking a ball down, but also a great sagittal plane movement and great for power push. So now I'm gonna rest for 1:30. You know, I work with some people who have incredibly demanding schedules, some of the busiest people in the world. When they come in, they have to be in and out. You know, I have to lead with direction and making sure I give them as much detail as possible, making sure I keep them safe, make sure they get the most out of their workouts and they have a very clear understanding of what they're doing on that day. So I've completed my second activity. Now we're on to our third activity, the wide grip tempo pull-up. So here we're gonna do 4 sets of 8. We're gonna take a minute 30 rest in between. The tempo is 1 to 5, which means we're gonna do 1 second on the way up. I'm gonna try to get 5 seconds on the way down. Think fast up, a little bit slower on the way down. You're gonna do 8 repetitions. Then you're gonna get a minute 30 rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wide grip tempo pull is obviously a pulling activity, you know, isolating the lats and getting some of the biceps involved. But also we're going to try to change the tempo up, and we're going to create more time of detention by having you up there for about 5 seconds, so 5 seconds on the eccentric motion when you're lowering. Just great for any pulling activity. We have to complement all our pushes, and we don't want to create any imbalances. So we actually have to work the posterior chain. I believe the posterior chain is actually used to be neglected very much, so I'm trying to balance it out and make sure that we have superior strength in the posterior chain. 5. So in regard to my hand placement, I want to keep my hands as wide as possible. Get where you're comfortable. The only thing is I don't want to be too narrow. I don't want to be inside the framework or inside my shoulder girdle. Aim for the chin, pull straight up, drive your elbows straight down. Another form tip, when I'm pulling down, I don't want to have any trap elevation, okay? I want to keep everything down and I don't want to have any elevation. So I finished my 4th set. Now we're going to transition into our hanging leg raise. 4 sets of 10 to failure, 130 rest in between. Control it on the way down. You can use a little bit of momentum on the way up. Control the eccentric motion. Obviously, there's a lot of strength in your shoulders involved just to stabilize yourself, just to hang up there. Isolating the front part of your body, the interior plane of motion, where I'm lifting my legs, working my lower abdomen, building some lower ab strength, and just trying to create some activity with my hip flexors, lower abdomen, and shoulder stabilization, but also a great activity for anyone who needs core strength, core development. So I'm done with my 4th set. I'm gonna rest for a minute 30, and now I move on to prone row. I'm gonna do 2 sets of 12 and 2 sets of 10 with a minute 30 in between, okay? I'm gonna lie down on the bench, pelvis down, pull my shoulders back. I'm gonna hold the weights here, I'm gonna turn in row. So it's important that I have my pelvis down and my shoulders back. There's no flexion in my spine. I'm not rounding my back, okay? Prone row is a great posterior chain movement. I add a little bit of a turn to it to make sure that I create a little bit more time and retention. But once again, trying to develop the posterior chain, specifically the rhomboids, making sure that we have a lot of strength in your back to make sure there's no imbalances created with the pressing. I like that movement. It creates a little bit of stabilization, keeping your shoulders back, working on posture as well. Minute 30 rest. Now it's important to remember, keep my hips pushed into the bench, my shoulders back. I'm looking down so there's no cervical extension in my neck. So I want to be here as opposed to here. So now on to our 6th activity, the W press. We're gonna do 2 sets of 12. 2 sets of 10. Don't forget, we're already warmed up. We've been doing pressing activities, so we don't need to go through an entire warm-up again. My grip is neutral. I don't want to drive straight up. I start in the framework of my body, and I just want to extend from the girdle of my shoulder to the outside of my shoulder. As I come up, out, and back in. I don't even need to get full extension all the way with my arms. It's about 3/4 of the range, and back down. I'm gonna rest for a minute 30. W press is just a standing military press with dumbbells with a little spin. I just make sure that I extend the arms out. When the arms come extended, they actually come away from your shoulders a little bit. So any weight closer to your body is a specific load. Until you take it further away from your body, that load in general is gonna weigh a little bit more away from your synovial joints. So it's a deltoid activity and developer and shoulder stabilizer as well. That's our 6th activity. We're gonna move on to our 7th activity, which is assisted shoulder complex. I wanna go relatively lighter with this activity. It's gonna start with a lateral raise, go to a front raise, hold position, back to a lateral, back down with great control. I'm just gonna do 4 sets of 12 repetitions, okay? So I'm gonna separate my feet, bend my legs, up with control, hold, front, back, down. Practice control, shoulders back. I want to be in retraction here as avoid protraction. Assisted shoulder complex is to get the front anterior delt, lateral delt, and try to work the rear as well. It's one movement. I like it as a complement to my pressing activities, so I usually do a military press and follow it with an assistive activity. Sometimes I do them individually, 3 separately. Sometimes, if once again it's the weekend warrior and the crunch for time, I can create a multi-movement. People seem to respond very well to it. Control. I'm done with my 7th activity. I'm gonna move on to the 8th activity, which is Simmons press for triceps. We're gonna do 4 sets of 12 repetitions, okay? Rest a minute 30 in between. When I'm down, I come straight down. My elbows are tight to my sides, okay? I'm gonna roll all the way back by my ears and then drive straight up. So straight down to the ears, straight up. Simmons press is actually a press with basically a dynamic action where I'm actually rolling my triceps from my chin to my forehead and pressing it back up. I actually learned that from some powerlifters. I enjoy it very much. I think it's great for function. It actually helps me develop my triceps. Weekend warrior is going to get tricep development, and they're also going to have more power with their push after they do this activity. We finished with a 4 set of 12, now we're gonna move on to prone bicep curl. We're gonna do 4 sets of 12. Keep our elbows tight to our side, elbows in front of our body. Control it on the way up, control it all the way down. Prone dumbbell curl, what we do is we lay someone down on the interior part of the body on an incline bench. Their hips are in the bench, their shoulders are pulled back, so they're actually working an optimal postural position. They're working their biceps, basically lay them down so we can take their lower body out of the movement so they're not manipulating other synovial joints to perform that activity. Make sure the elbows are in the front part of their body and not floating back, so we increase the moment of the actual movement and the actual chain of the resistance. I'm gonna rest for a minute 30. I encourage everyone to up the weight so they're being challenged and they put themselves in a position to be successful in regards to upping their performance. So I don't want someone going through the workout and making sure that, hey, that wasn't too hard. If that wasn't that hard, it's on you. So we can manipulate the time, the speed, make sure that you're doing these with great form and you're not manipulating a bunch of different joints, and we're using the joints that we're intending on using for that specific movement. Done with our 4th set of 12. Now done with the upper body. We're gonna move on to the lower body activities. We're gonna move on to our lower body activities, so which means we have to warm up our lower body. We're gonna do alternating reverse lunges, 5 in the right, 5 in the left, and then we'll do 5 in the right, 5 in the left with the bar. Then we'll actually be able to go into our work set, which is 2 sets of 10 and 2 sets of 8 with a minute 30 rest in between, okay? Now, one of the most prescribed things in the United States of America is force and resistance, be it training with weights or yoga or Pilates or whatever it may be. Force is a wonderful thing for the body, creating specific movements and blood flow to going through the muscle fibers and accessing different joints, keeps you healthy. Now I'm gonna go on to my first work set, put 135 pounds on the bar. I like reverse lunge because it takes the stress away from the patella. Some people who have chronic knee pain can tolerate the reverse lunge. There's a lot of efficiency in it. I can get a little bit of activation in my hip flexors, also stabilizing with your hips, more bang for your buck, so to speak. I'm done with my last set. I'm gonna move on to single arm, single leg deadlift. We're gonna do 4 sets of 10, a minute 30 rest in between, okay? Small bend in my left leg, my right leg's gonna be in the air, my left hand's on my hip. I'm gonna look down. I don't want my right leg to float behind me. I'm gonna look straight down. Maintain a flat back. It's important to note if I have rounding in my back flexion in the spine, I'm gonna modify this, okay? Keep my shoulders back. I'm gonna go as low as my body allows me to go, as long as I maintain a flat back position. Single leg dumbbell deadlift, working your glutes and getting some lengthening in the hamstring. I don't think you can squat efficiently unless you have strong hamstrings, obviously. There's some balancing involved. I don't believe you can actually just work on balance. I believe the strength carries over to balance and improves your balance. This is a great hip stabilizer, glute developer, and hamstring lengthener. Done with my 4th set, done with the workout. So you finished with the Weekend Warrior workout. I recommend doing that workout twice a week. It can help you enhance your performance with your sports that you play in the weekends and also help you have better health in life. For more videos and content like this, make sure you come back. Check us out at Bodybuilding.com.
The NFL Combine is the elite benchmark of football performance. This all-or-nothing event can shatter dreams or make them come true. Just 6 tests stand between you and greatness. This is where the elite train. State-of-the-art facilities, a full-time staff of coaches, trainers, and medical personnel. I'm Pete Bomarito, and I make champions. Today you're working out in my house.
2-time All-American athlete, former linebacker from the New England Patriots, certified strength and conditioning coach. I'm Marc Megna, and I make champions. We're giving you complete workouts designed for you to increase your performance for each of the main NFL Combine tests. 40-yard dash, 225 bench press, vertical jump, pro shuttle, broad jump, and 3-cone drill. Plus, we're hooking you up with nutrition and supplementation plans used by the pros.
Train, eat, and supplement, just like the top athletes at Bomarito Performance Systems.
Be stronger, be faster, be better than anyone else.